It's Charter Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance in the Inland Empire today, and we are joined by Mike Soubirous. He is a councilman in the city of Riverside, and there is quite a debate percolating in your city. Events are moving quickly, but I do want to talk about it because it's an issue that faces many California cities.
Yes.
In Los Angeles, for example, in Long Beach, for example, there are elected city attorneys, prosecutors, which handle misdemeanors
Yes.
in their jurisdiction. How does it work in the city of Riverside?
Well, currently all the cities in Riverside, as well as the county area, they're all serviced by the district attorney's office. And that means that the district attorney handles all the felonies as well as all the misdemeanors. So all crime is prosecuted by our district attorney.
And I would think that over the last few years, handling all those types of cases would be challenging, especially with realignment.
Yes.
Although one could argue, well, with Prop 47, drug crimes are being reclassified as misdemeanors, so
Right.
there's got to be I got to think the DA is overwhelmed. I don't know. I mean,
Well, the district attorney claims that his staff, and I don't know if this is all misdemeanors or all felonies or a combination or what, but that they're running about 2 to 1 what they should be on some of the caseloads. So he's very overburdened with a lot of caseloads and not a lot of money that's set specifically by the Board of Supervisors, actually this county CEO, and ratified by the Board of Supervisors. So even though he's independently elected by the voters to represent them, the DA, his budget is controlled by the county CEO and the Board of Supervisors.
right, and as I understand, I think you just said it, that the misdemeanor unit is averaging 2 times less the industry standard in terms of cases filed. I don't know if I said that correctly.
Maybe it's the other way around. They've got more. They've got double what should be the industry standard.
Oh, I see. Oh, they're having to. Oh, I see. Okay, yes.
They have an extremely high caseload.
Right. It's the reverse. It's that
Yes.
they are overburdened. They have 2 times more the number
Yes.
of misdemeanors.
Yes.
But are they filing the types of misdemeanor cases that you believe impact the daily lives of Riverside residents?
Well, we're seeing from our police department different turndowns, and this is no disrespect to the district attorney's office.
Okay.
And maybe I can add a little something before that, and we'll go back to that, and you may have to remind me. But the way it works in the district attorney's office is, of course, the most important things that are going to be prosecuted are your high-end type felonies. I mean, the very serious ones. And then it's going to drop to the lower felonies, and then the higher-end misdemeanors down to the very lowest. You know, you've got graffiti, you've got vandalism,
Public
you've got
intoxication,
urination on sidewalks, all those nice, ugly things that we, you know, but it's those little things that are our day-to-day bread and butter, so to speak, complaints.
Quality of life issues.
Quality of life issues. And so as a result of that, the dollar trickles as it goes down, and it's just a natural thing that, you know, these deputy DAs are getting this heavy caseload, and they're bombarded with a lot of these small things.
And so what I understand is while they are overburdened, like you said, they have a misdemeanor caseload 2 times the industry average, they are prosecuting, I guess, about 89% of the misdemeanor cases brought to them. Do we have a sense as to whether that's within industry standards?
Don't know. I think we were just a little bit surprised at the numbers, and I don't know if that's of the cases that they put on. Is that their win rate, or is that the number of cases that come in, and that's how many that they prosecute? Not 100% sure.
Right.
On that.
But we do have a sense that some of these quality of life crime cases are not being brought.
Yes, and we've got evidence of that based on our Riverside Police Department has come back to us and shown us the turn down letters on some of these. And this is routine. And this is, again, not poking at the district attorney's office or saying,
they're busy.
You know, you're doing a bad. They're very, very busy. They got the entire county, and there's dwindling tax dollars. And on top of that, the county of Riverside has stated we're going to be facing layoffs real soon, furloughs, which means every other Friday the deputy DAs will be off, and they're not going to be hiring to replace a lot of these folks.
So what happens in Los Angeles City, Long Beach City, for example, if the DA turns down a case, their city prosecutor can prosecute the case?
Those cities that are prosecuting their own misdemeanors, their city attorney is doing all the misdemeanors, period. However, if you have a felony that maybe includes some misdemeanors and they do a turn down on the felony, or it gets reduced on what's called a Wilder, that could be a misdemeanor or a felony. If it does go to that, then it gets turned down to the city attorney's office.
But you can't do that in Riverside right now.
Currently, unless the district attorney agrees to it, or if he doesn't agree to it, then we can pursue a charter amendment, in which case, being a charter city, if we vote in the affirmative that we want to give our city attorney the power to prosecute misdemeanors, then the state says, good to go.
And that's where we're at today.
Yeah.
And that is the interesting part of this conversation, is that your city attorney, who, by the way, is not elected,
Correct. He's
Some
appointed.
cities do elect their city attorney, city
Right.
prosecutors. That's another conversation, whether he should be elected.
Yeah.
But your current appointed city attorney has asked for the power to prosecute misdemeanors.
Right, and that's based on our request to him that, hey, what can we do to step up these quality of life things that we're hearing about? Again, those public,
Right.
intoxication things, the misdemeanor vandalisms, just all these type cases, graffiti, and we're saying what can be done more to prosecute these?
So as we speak today, I understand that your city council, by a very slight majority,
Yes.
has decided to move forward by placing an amendment on
Yes.
your ballot, a charter amendment in June, to authorize the city attorney to prosecute misdemeanors. There
Yes.
are discussions with the DA to see if those
Right.
issues can be resolved, but
Right.
let's talk about where we are today. It was only a 4-3 vote, so clearly the issue's contentious.
Yes, and some of the council members that voted no said we just want a little bit more time to see if the DA will come around. And we did have a number of talks with our city
Right.
attorney, talking with the district attorney, and then it suddenly came to an impasse. And so what are we left
Right.
with doing? If he's not willing to grant us the ability to prosecute our own misdemeanors on a limited basis, on a greater basis, whatever the case may be, our only alternative, if we want to see change,
Right.
is to give the power to our city attorney to prosecute all misdemeanors in the city.
So it's an all or nothing proposition?
Pretty much,
Interesting.
yes.
So where do we stand? Conversations continue.
Yes.
Let's presume, for argument's sake, we do go to a ballot measure.
Right.
Do you have a sense of where the voters of your city are? How did this
Yeah.
come up, for example? Was this through the grassroots? You're a former cop. Was it because you were
Right.
aware of the issue?
It's more from the aspect of the community comes forward, complaints, what can we do about this, this and that. And we're finding we're getting pushback from the police department that, hey, we're really packing these in. When we had that overtime detail to take care of the, the homeless and the
I do.
panhandlers, well, a lot of those cases, there was, a couple thousand arrests, but it's whether or not these get prosecuted. And there's a lot of difficulties and there's a lot of ramifications, and there are people that don't show up and all that.
So let's talk about funding, because that's a key issue.
Yes, it is.
If the city votes in favor, will funding that would have gone to the DA to prosecute misdemeanors flow to the city?
No. What we'd have to do is float our own funding source.
Oh, really?
And we would have to pay for this. Our city attorney estimates somewhere between $2 and $2.3 million a year to prosecute our own, and basically have a city prosecutor.
So
office.
from where would those funds come?
Well, there's a number of things, and I guess it's things that you can theorize will happen, but we can only guess that with this comes 1701 rights
Which
in
is?
the government code, which allows a city attorney to take on corporations and things that, like class action suits and things on behalf of fraud against our residents. Those happen. Anaheim does it.
And fines then flow to the
and
city?
some of the fines, and also the whole idea of this is a neighborhood prosecutor program
Right.
where, at community meetings, we have a police lieutenant standing there or sitting there talking to the people about some of the issues, and okay, we'll get more patrol there.
Right.
You'll also have a neighborhood prosecutor, as we call it, that will sit in there and know some of the legal things that he can do, such as these people that maybe get arrested for, doing things on
Right.
sidewalks that they shouldn't do. We'll get them, the court order them to clean up some of that stuff, and we'll get them to actually work off some of the offense.
What about prison space?
Well, again, that's where the neighborhood
Or
prosecutor,
jail space.
yes, and neighborhood prosecutor system isn't about just filing charges that maybe the DA's not doing. It's about having the time and the effort and the energy to spend creative time with our police department finding solutions to these problems so that we can mitigate, which means maybe less calls to the police department, more efficient, helps reduce costs, thereby maybe putting the money back in the coffer that is spent.
Fascinating issue.
It
His
is.
name is Mike Soubirous. He is a councilman in the city of Riverside. My name is Brad Pomerance in the Inland Empire. This is Charter Local Edition.